Okay, now, I need you to focus your attention on the denominator. We want to factor everything. We want to factor numerators. We want to factor denominators. That numerator is already, the part on the top is already factored. 5 times x cannot be simplified anymore. But the part on the bottom is not. You do have a GCF you can pull out. What is it? 5 what? 5x. And if you pull that 5x out, what will you be left with on the bottom? 7x minus 1 is correct. That's true. And we still have that 5x on the top. Once you get it into its factored form, then you're going to be asking yourself this question that Mr. Morris is asking me right now. Can't you just cancel some stuff out? What can you cancel out? Right? There's a 5 in the top and a 5 at the bottom. There's an x in the top and the x in the bottom. And in other words, you can get rid of the 5 and the x. Okay? It's no different than when you were in middle school and you had something like this. 2 times 3 times 5 over 2 times 3. What cancels out? The 2 and the 3, right? That's the same idea. Now, I know that has nothing to do with this question other than it just illustrates what we're doing. Okay, focus on what we're doing. Okay? I mean, this is the core of the matter.
You're so funny. He is funny.
Okay, all right. So, what's left? What's my final answer here? My answer is not 7x minus 1, but it's 7x minus 1 is in my answer. 1 over, remember. Please remember this and hear this. If you cancel all the factors out of the numerator or all the factors out of the denominator, there's always still a 1. Always. If we have time, we'll come back and talk about those restrictions. Okay? I think it's more important that you worry about simplifying and learning how to multiply and remembering how to factor. So this one doesn't have a GCF in the top or the bottom. This is question 2. So let's just think about what we would split the numerator into and what we would split the denominator into. Try to do it on your own. So remember that factoring, if there's no GCF and you're looking at a quadratic, you're doing the reverse FOIL process. So we're going to have like z plus and z minus. All of these will start out with a z. See if you can remember how to factor those. I know that for some of you it'll come back quickly, and others of you that you need to be refreshed. So, what did you break? Can't do that. Can't do that. You have to get it into its factored form first before you can reduce it. Oh, it's just, okay. Don't start doing this stuff where you're like, oh, I'll just cross those off. That's highly illegal in every part of the world. Okay? Saudi Arabia, they cut it. Okay, so make sure you factor it first. I got a question. I think that's, is it 1? It's just in home, right? I don't know. Where's your train at? Great. Yes, you are. Z plus 1, Z plus 1 on the top. I like it. Right? You needed numbers that multiply together to give you 1, but added up to 2. Okay, now we need numbers that multiply together to give me negative 2. Well, that can only happen if one's positive and one's negative, and they have to add up to negative 1. Multiply together to give me positive 1 and negative 2. Do we see anything that we can get rid of? What do we see? Z plus 1, right? Z plus 1, Z plus 1. Do not tell me that the Z's are canceling, or the pluses are canceling, or the 1s. It's Z plus 1. That's the entire factor that's getting canceled out. Final answer? Z plus 1 over Z minus 2. Z plus 1 over Z minus 2. Okay, you try. No GCFs. I don't see any GCFs there, so that'll make my life easier. And if you need help with this, I'll be happy to help.
I just wanted to make sure you got it.
That hat is too small, sir.
No, I just don't have it all the way out.
This is early dismissal.
I'm returning.
Oh, it's like, aren't you leaving? Okay. We're on 11-2, so get your notes out on 11-2. Get your factors written out and try to get it reduced.
Hey, that's smack. It tastes like peach mango juice from Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
That tastes, I actually had one of those this morning.
Got it factored? Not you. I know you're still getting your stuff out. I was wondering about the joke.
Y minus 7, Y minus 2.
Nice job. What about the denominator? The denominator, 4 and 3 don't multiply together to give me 18.
Positive 9.
Huh?
Negative 2.
Y plus 9 and Y minus 2, that is true. Anything cancel out?
Y minus 2.
The Y minus 2's. Final answer right there. Any questions on this? I was going to say, you got one?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say if you don't, you can slide over and I've got my orange cord here. Yep. Anybody stuck on this? Not understand what's going on here?
Oh my gosh.
That was loud.
Yeah, I just can't.
No, I got it.
You know, I had another student that was just like, middle of quizzes, I'm just like, oh my goodness, I hate that noise.
I mean, like, if some people are talking, I heard that.
That help, Miss German? Did you get that copy down? Okay, all right. Okay, now we're changing from just simplifying to multiplication. Now I'm going to remind you what we did in middle school when we had 2 over 3 times 5 over 7. I'm going to ask you this question. Is this the same as 2 times 5 over 3 times 7? Is that the same?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. In other words, when we were in middle school, we talked about how you multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. You getting it open? Yeah. Okay. Okay, now. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be factoring this, but we're going to be writing one giant fraction with all the factors on the top and all the factors on the bottom. Now, can you tell me what we're going to do right there with the 4x plus 24? What can you pull out of that? A 4. What will that leave me with? X plus 6. Now, this one on the bottom, x plus 8, we can't do anything with that, so it's going to automatically be one of the factors. Okay, now, the remaining part is what I want you to focus your attention on. Factoring these other two parts right here. So, see if you can get it all factored into so we can look at it and see what happens. Well, we had gotten a few done. We got, so far we've done, yeah. In fact, yeah, that reminds me. Let me write that down. I need to make sure that all the videos are updated for Algebra 2. It's updated.
X plus 7, X minus 2.
Mm-hmm. You are correct, Mr. Duncan.
The top two.
X plus 7 and X minus 2. And what'd you have on the bottom?
6.
X plus 6 and X minus 2.
So negative 14, right? You want to get something.
You guys okay on that factory? Okay. Mr. Barr, are you okay on that factory? These are cheap. Ringing a bell? How to do it? For a large. For a large.
I say that. We got you guys.
Yeah, so from there to there, I know you can cross them off.
We don't have
I know where I'm going on your phone. That's cool.
Yeah, go there.
But look at the
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some.
The same thing.
Yeah, so that's old.
And then you just gotta attach this on.
Right.
Okay.
Are you stuck on the factory so far? Okay.
I cannot.
I can hold it with that, yeah, pretty much. I mean, sometimes I have a bad pull, but it's a left arm.
Bowling is
It's
What I do is I
my answer.
Yep.
Oh, you're stretching. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you had a question.
It hurts
X
so
minus
bad.
2 can.
Okay, so we got X minus 2 disappearing. What else?
The X plus 6 cancels out too.
X plus 6 cancels out, yes. Now, my final answer, I'll take it in two different forms. One of the answers could be 4 times X plus 7 all over X plus 8. I'll take that as a final answer. You could also write 4X plus 28 over X plus 8. I'll take that as a final answer. Okay, now, the first one was already factored if you want to know about factoring. Okay, there's no way to factor this any further. If you want to leave it in factored form, there it is on the left. If you're about to try to tell me we should reduce that, don't hurt yourself. Okay? Don't. Okay? What do you notice? See, a lot of kids want to say, well, can't the 4 go into the 8? But remember, you have to take a 4 out of the entire thing. There's no GCF on the bottom, folks. You're trying to do too much. See, I see a lot of kids look at this one on the right and they say, oh, I should be able to take a 4 out of that. The stopper is right here. There's nothing in front of that X but a 1. You can't pull a 4 out of it, so don't try to. We only cancel something out if we have a factor in the top and the bottom.
What was the bottom? Can you go back up?
Sure. The only thing left on the bottom was X plus 8.
Okay.
Okay, question 5. Factor, there'll be 4 factors on the top. I don't see any GCFs, so it looks like 4 binomial factors on the bottom too. Go.
It's not hard, it just takes a long time.
I know, and there are more difficult ones, but I'm going to stay away from them because it would be very confusing. Yes. I don't know how you expect people not to think that. You may not be, but it sure makes people wonder.
Did you know that you
A lot of my teachers got really good.
cease and desist?
That's ours, we get it right now.
No, not this.
And I would love for all my students to have C's too, or above. Not as high as it should be, I know. Because I know there's more gas in the tank. Okay. What do we get for the first one?
X minus 5, X minus 2.
X minus 5 and X minus 2. All right, Mr. Bond, you got the next one, or do you have any of the other ones? Not yet? Okay, Mr. Bola, do you have any of the other ones? No. Mr. Morris, do you have any of the other ones?
X plus 1, X plus 2.
Okay, so he gave me this next one, X plus 1, X plus 2. Mr. Bond, did you get another one?
It was that one.
Okay, Mr. Brown, any of the ones on the bottom? Got an X plus 2 and an X minus 2 for the left bottom. Okay, that leaves me with one left. Miss German, what do you got? All right, Mr. DeWald, what do you got? X plus 1, X minus... No, that's it. Good job. X plus 1 and X minus 5. No, it's not wrong. It's correct. Okay. All right, now, anything cancel out?
They all do.
Oh my goodness. Do they all cancel out?
So there are no restrictions.
Okay, now, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to know what the answer is. 1. Because you got a 1 left in the top and a 1 left in the bottom. Anytime you got 1 over 1, that's 1.
So we all were just
Surprise! That's called simplifying right there. Okay, now, I'm purposely going to skip this example and tell me why I'm skipping this example. Or if I put this one on the test, it'll be extra credit. Why? There's no GC up there. There's that 4. Okay, the grandpa thing. Oh, you know you can't. The Berry method, thank you so much. Grandpa? Where did grandpa come from, the Berry method? Do you have a grandpa named Grandpa Berry? Oh, okay. Okay, so this one would be an extra credit question. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this because the Berry method is not really what we're focusing on right now. Now, okay. All right, now let's think about what we did in middle school when we divided a simple fraction like this. 2/3 divided by 5/7. What did... Yeah, I hear you. Keep, change, flip. So we keep the first fraction, we change it to multiplication, and we flip the second fraction. Now, don't you dare say cross multiply. Okay? What we did just a few minutes ago... Yes, stay with me. Stop distracting people. Okay?
It would be X plus 7 over 2 times 3 over 5.
That's true. That's true. Let's factor it first. Okay? Now the first one looks factored already. Okay? What can you do to this? You can pull out a 5, which would leave me with what?
5x.
X plus what? 7. Okay, now, if we do the idea that you just suggested with the keep, change, flip, we can change this into multiplication, and that second fraction, the 3, comes up on the top, and the 5 and the x plus 7 come down to the bottom. What do you see? Ah, you see the x plus 7s cancel. And what's my final answer? 3 over 10. Thank you very much. We kept it. We kept the first one, changed it to multiplication, and flipped the second fraction. Now you try.
That's my least favorite part about this class. Now you get to try.
Yeah. If I were you, I would start by, ooh, sorry. Do you see a GCF in any one of these? Like right down here? 2, right? Okay, you can pull a 2 out of that. This one's going to have 2 sets of parentheses. This one's going to have 2 sets of parentheses. Think about your factoring. There's no GCFs in the top of either one of those fractions.
7.
No, because x squared doesn't come out.
Oh, because there's no 7.
But I do see, why you say that with the 14x and the 49, but nope.
Could you scroll real quick so I can number 7?
Okay, hold on. I put a mark on there.
I just need to see.
How would you solve the first one?
Okay, the first one has to multiply together to give me negative 49, so that means one's positive, one's negative, and they have to add up to 0. Did you get it down, Mr. Bond?
Yeah, I got it down.
Okay, I'm gonna, oops.
Wait. Is it plus 7 minus 7?
Yes, sir, it is.
I got 1. 7 plus 7 minus 5.
The bottom is plus 7 and minus 5. You are correct. Okay, now we're going to change this to one big fraction. Right, we got x plus 7, x minus 7. 2 times x minus 5. And then we flip the second fraction. So that means the x plus 7 would be down here.
Wait, why would it be down there?
These two are coming down. Right? These two are going to come up. Because it's that reciprocal of the second fraction, right?
Oh, because you're dividing, so to get it, you have to multiply by the reciprocal. Right?
Okay, what cancels out?
The x plus 7.
We got an x plus 7 and x plus 7.
X minus 5.
X minus 5, x minus 5. X plus 7, x plus 7. What's my...
Minus 7 over 2.
X minus 7 over 2 is my final answer. They did not all cancel out.
I looked at the answer out loud.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now on this one right here, why did you not? I'm going to skip this one because of this. This is going to cause you some frustration because it's not factorable. So I saw that one and I was like, we're not doing that. Okay. Okay. I'll show you. You don't have to write any of this down. Okay. Y squared minus 49 over 1 is y plus 7, y minus 7, all over 1. Okay, of course we're changing this to multiplication. So I'm just doing this in a short amount of time. So the y squared minus 7 is going to come up here. This factors into y plus 7 and y minus 4. Okay, so now it's one giant fraction. We can cancel things out. We got a y plus 7 and a y plus 7. So my final answer, y minus 7 times y squared minus 7, because nothing cancels out there over y minus 4. Now, I didn't think any of you would really get that, so because this thing is not factorable, that's just an evil, cruel trick that's been thrown in there. So, I wouldn't do that one. We're not going to have that one on a test or quiz.
Hi.
Hey, hi. Okay, question 10. There's no GCFs, so I suggest you start breaking it up. And then keep change flip and see what happens.
So what kind of work Yes. I just wanted to give whoever's watching a chance to work on it themselves. Yes, I have. I've been doing that on every one of them just to give them a chance. If they can hear that. I don't know if they can hear it. Okay, so... What? Okay, let's go with the numerator y plus 1 and y plus 6. Okay, don't make a big deal out of things, move on. Y minus 5y minus 1. What's in the bottom left? Y plus 6 and y plus 3, right, because they add up to 9. And y, I got a plus and a minus. What are they? Which one's the 1? So y minus 1 and a positive 3. Yes, okay. So now we're going to make one big fraction. Yep. And we got our y plus 1 and our y plus 6.
Is it y plus 1 over y minus 5?
Well, you're probably ahead of me. So then what am I going to do with this second fraction? Flip it. Okay, so the y plus 3, y minus 1 comes up here. And the y minus 5, y minus 1 goes down there. Okay. Miss Redelia, give me something that cancels. Y minus 1, yep. Mr. Soto, give me something else that cancels.
No, y plus 6.
Y plus 6. Mr. Bond, anything else that cancels? Y plus 3. That does leave me with y plus 1 over y minus 5. And don't try to tell me that the y's cancel out.
That's just...
Well, the addition stops you from doing that kind of trick. Lots of kids think that, but it isn't like that. And sometimes. Okay. Question 11. Oh, I don't have a question 11. We must be done with our notes for today.
Yeah.